Hello guys, welcome to another video of DevOps. In this video, we are going to discuss and understand how we can integrate MySQL with Azure DevOps. Okay, how we will be able to deploy the MySQL query or script which we might have inside MySQL server, and how we can integrate them in the pipelines. Okay, so let's begin the video. First, we'll be setting up the CI/CD pipeline for MySQL, and we'll see how we can deploy the MySQL script from your pipeline. Let's click on New Pipeline. This will help you create a new pipeline. Once this is done, you can either select the classic editor or even Azure repository based on the requirement. Let me set one classic editor pipeline. Click on Continue, Empty Job, and here you'll have to add the task. Here in the search bar, if you type SQL, you will get some of the tasks which you can use to deploy your database directly inside Azure. Okay, let me just add the first one. This task, Azure database for MySQL deployment, just add it, and you can use this file to deploy your database resources inside MySQL Azure. Okay, display name is fine, you can provide anything. Azure subscription is nothing but the service connection which you should be having already. If not, you can always click on this manage, and it will take you to the service connection. From here you can create the new service connection from here. Okay, you can select the Azure resource manager because we are using Azure, and you will be able to add other things like identity type, subscription, resource group, etc. Once you have created the service connection, you can select it. So suppose this is my service connection, and after that we'll have to provide the host name of database. Okay, if you have created some SQL server, there should be some host name of your server, something like in this format .mysql.database.azure.com. If you open this URL, you will be able to browse your database contents. Okay, so we'll select that one. We don't have any created. If you have that created, it will come here by default. Let me just type one random name and see if this is working or not. Suppose I have added this. This is my host name of my database or SQL Server database. Okay, once host name is done, you will have to provide your database name, whatever database you might have created inside this SQL server, so that this task will go ahead and deploy your content only inside this database. Suppose I just given test data folder, or this is the test data name. Once this is done, you will have to provide the server admin login and password, so that pipeline will be able to communicate or connect to that SQL server, and this will be able to deploy your script or file based on the requirement. Okay, suppose your admin login is admin or something like PG admin or something, whatever resource username you might have given, you can just add it here, and your password is also something like this. This is the random password which I am giving here. You, of course, you should have some different server admin login and password. Once you have entered admin login and password, you will have to add the deployment package. You can either select the MySQL script file, or you can even paste the inline MySQL script directly inside this inline script box. If you have the script file inside your repository, you can always select this script file and select your file directly from here. Whatever file you might have. Suppose this is my script file. And if you have some argument related to your MySQL, you can always come here and supply your MySQL arguments. Okay. If you don't have any, you can leave this as blank. You can change the firewall settings as well. Like you can specify firewall rules while using this SQL server. You can add your IP address range as well, and you will be able to delete the rule after the task is completed, so that you will be able to, or your pipeline will be able to connect the database successfully, and it will be able to run the script which you might have provided here inside your uh, database in Microsoft Azure. Okay, once this is done, you can save it so that you will be able to deploy this pipeline. This is one of the tasks to deploy your SQL database. There is another one. If you search the SQL here, there is another one, Azure SQL Database Deployment. You can also use this task to deploy your SQL data pack. Okay, you can select the display name, service connection. You can add the SQL database authentication type. Suppose you want to use SQL Server authentication, you can add the Azure SQL Server details here, something like that. If you click on this I button, there will be one host name for your database server. You can just add it something like this. After that, you can add the database, provide the login details for the server, and you can provide the deployment package here inside this deploy type, and this DACPAC file option here inside the task. Okay, if you have deploy type as SQL DACPAC file, you can provide that. If you have some script file, you can also provide the script file as well. Suppose this is my SQL script. I have selected this, and you can also provide the arguments. Okay, you can change the firewall settings as well, and based on your requirement, you can add it. You will have to provide the firewall rules, so that this pipeline will add the rules first before executing this task. Because if you have some private endpoint enabled, or your database is not public, your pipeline will not be able to connect with the database. To do that, to resolve that error, first here you'll have to specify your IP addresses to add the firewall rule inside your database. If you have IP address range, you can provide the IP addresses like start IP address and end IP address. Suppose start is something like, and end is also the same, or maybe suppose 150. So this will add the rule. You can see we have two tasks created. You can either use any of them to just deploy the resources inside your MySQL database. So these are the two tasks which are very important if you want to work with MySQL database inside Microsoft Azure. You can use any of the tasks to deploy the resources. If you have a script file, or if you want some easier deployment or easier task, you can use the first one because this is quite easier if you compare this with the second one. If these two does not fulfill your requirement, you can also explore the marketplace and check different type of tasks provided by different people, and you can download and install the extension based on it, and you can even run whatever you want inside your SQL database. Okay, if you see, this is providing SQL change automation, build and test databases with Redgate SQL change automation. So you get so many third-party extensions directly here inside the task list as well. If you click on get it free, this will be installed inside your Azure DevOps organization, and you'll be able to use them directly inside your pipelines. Okay, so we have covered how we can deploy the resources inside MySQL database using CI/CD pipelines. Let's change the pipeline name as MySQL database. Click on save and queue. So this will create our pipeline with name MySQL database, and it will start running as well. But this should of course fail because we are not providing correct database name or correct server name, because we don't have created directly inside our Microsoft Azure. You can run, or if you have the SQL server created already, you'll be able to add that SQL server directly inside the pipeline and it will work for you. You can see we are getting this error: could not retrieve an access token for Azure, status code invalid client. Okay, I'm getting the different error related to service connection because of my secret has expired. But even if the secret was not expired, this task would have failed because we have given the wrong MySQL host name and database name in our task. Okay, so like this you'll be able to execute database script inside multiple stages. If you have multiple multi-stage pipelines, like dev, QA, UAT, pre-production, production, whatever environment you might have, you can use the stages to create the different stages inside the CI/CD pipelines in Azure DevOps. Okay, that's it from this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any feedback, suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.